Welcome to another episode of Blue Country Soul Cafe. Today is day 3 in the 12 Days of Elvis. Today I'd like to talk a little bit about what I consider to be, and many other people consider to be, one of the most important days in music history. In 1953, on July 18th, a young, sideburns Elvis Presley walked into the Memphis Recording Service. The Memphis Recording Service, of course, became what's known as Sun Studios. Sun Studios, of course, is very important in music history. It was started by Sam Phillips, who many consider to be the originator and the architect of rock and roll. And it's hard to argue with that when you consider the great artists that came out of that studio and got their start at his studio. First of all, of course, there's B.B. King. There's Howlin' Wolf, Jerry Lee Lewis. A young Johnny Cash got his start at Sun Studios. And you have to consider that somebody as raw and as original as Johnny Cash couldn't have really got a break anywhere else. At least I don't believe it would have been possible. So if you take away all those artists from music history and consider all the artists they influenced that might not even exist now, and then take away the artist that is arguably the most influential of all time, that would be Elvis. John Lennon said it himself. I'm going to believe John. He's a smart guy. So Sun Records is a pretty important place. And without Sam Phillips, much of music as we know it wouldn't have happened. But there's an unsung hero in the past. There's somebody who doesn't get her due. That's right, her due. As is often the case, behind the great man, there was a great woman. And this great woman was a gal named Marian Keisker. Now, a lot of people consider her to have been the receptionist, or basically the secretary at Sun Records. That's not actually true. The truth is that Marian Keisker was a very successful broadcaster in her own right. Marian Keisker was a lot more than a receptionist. She was, in essence, Sam's partner. She helped build Sun Studios from the ground up. They put the tiles up themselves, and if you go down there to have a look at it, none of that stuff's been changed. Well, Marian Keisker was sitting at her desk on July 18th in 1953 when this young man kind of poked his head in. And she said he was very striking because there was nobody around who looked like him. Some people say that his hair was already as long as the Beatles' hair, except for that it was slicked back, and he had those long sideburns. And his clothes were unlike most people. He looked like he was already dressed for the stage. So Elvis walks almost sideways up to the desk. Marian said that he was impossibly shy, and he asked her how much it would cost, basically stammered and mumbled his way through it, to get a disc made for his mom. And she told him that it was $3.98. Then this conversation occurred, and Marian always remembered it because after she heard him, she understood it. So I'm just going to let you see this in print, and you can read it and use your own voices in your head. So now I'd like to do my version of Elvis's first 2 songs that he ever sang in the studio. My Happiness and That's When Your Heartaches Begin. Evening shadows make me blue when each weary day is through. How I long to be with you, my happiness. Every day I reminisce, dreaming of your tender kiss, always thinking how I miss my happiness. A million years it seems have gone by since we shared our dreams, but I'll hold you again. There'll be no blue memories then, whether skies are gray or blue. Any place on earth will do, just as long as I'm with you, my happiness. If you find your sweetheart in the arms of your friend, that's when your heartaches begin. And when dreams of a lifetime must come to an end, that's when your heartaches begin. Love is a thing that you never can share, and if you bring a friend into your love affair, that's the end of your sweetheart, that's the end of your friend. That's when your heartaches begin. Thank you very much.